What is going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about Hologram. Friday was a big day because they dropped their annual earnings. I want to go over what it stated and everything else that you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So Friday did go up 32.36%. It did have a high of $1.21, settled at $1, so thus resetting the whole below $1 consecutive day route, as I've previously brought up. But nonetheless, they did submit their 20F, so their annual earnings. So it was roughly a week and a half early, so that's kind of a good thing. But I'm going to go over the good, the bad, and the ugly. So based on their PR, it goes over two things that they highlight. So steady revenue growth, so ultimately making about 40.7 million USD in 2024, roughly a 42.16% growth. And a lot of that is coming from their actual products and services. So kind of a good thing for that. So I always like to give credit when credit is due. So that's definitely a positive. So I'll bring up that later in the video. This one I did find rather comical. So it says expansion of cash and cash equivalents scale. So by the end of 2024, the company's cash and cash equivalents surged to 118.45 million, reflecting a 575.54% year-over-year increase. Again, I always like to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. I find this comical as hell that they're actually bringing this up. This isn't a positive. They just diluted the hell out of it, causing the stock price to go up. And on a side note, their actual earnings that they did submit is finally proof that a lot of you that were kind of doubting dilution was occurring, it's proof. So I find this comical. So this one's a good positive to bring up about the revenue growth. This one, I don't know. It's like me punching you in the face and saying, hey, look, what happened to your face? It just doesn't, it's just not making sense. But nonetheless, this is the breakdown for their revenue. So they're starting to transition into more service related, and I think that's good, a little bit more beneficial. So a nice increase from 2023 to 2024. So 282 million RMB, so making up roughly 97% of their revenue. Products did go down, so they've been slowly transitioning away from that. So it's LiDAR, that seems to be their big thing. In their earnings, though, they do bring up a lot of risks associated to the EV sector in China and them kind of transitioning away from the whole LiDAR. So I think a lot of people are starting to just kind of move away from that. We've seen more notably as well with Tesla and other entities starting to transition away from LiDAR. So I think this is probably what prompted Hologram to see a lot of the recent news and say, hey, quantum is picking up, let's transition into that, as well as Bitcoin. So I think that's what prompted it. I'm still not a fan of them transitioning. It shows that they're more just jumping all around, not really organized. But that is ultimately why they are jumping around, is because of kind of they're looking for other sources of revenue. So again, just to give them the benefit of the doubt, that is a positive thing. So at least they're kind of working on that. Based on this, though, as I stated previously, there's a couple key things that you really want to pay attention to. How much cash and cash equivalents that they have, how much cash are they burning through, and dilution. So this gives a little bit of context. So it shows how much they did have as of December 31st, 2024. This gives a little bit better of a picture. So for all of those individuals that were doubting that dilution was occurring, saying that I'm wrong and all that, this right here is proof. So as of December 31st, 2023, there was 297,000 shares. Keep in mind, they did do a reverse stock split that was done on October the 9th, 2024, a 1-for-20. So all of these numbers right here are factoring and adjusted. So again, if you want to just do the basic math, just take this times by 20, and that's ultimately what it would have been as of December 31st, 2023. But nonetheless, as of December 31st, 2024, there was 54.5 million. And ultimately, this right here, this is that proof. In 2024, they diluted 54.2 million. So they, honestly, this is absolutely insane. And if you kind of look at a lot of the conversions, it's nowhere near done, which is the unfortunate part of all this. So I think this was the proof that a lot of individuals did need. And I'm sure some of you might be wondering, okay, so if they were diluting and they had some revenue growth and it shows a little bit of promise that they're looking for different revenue sources going forward, why did it go up with all these potential red flags? Good question. And that is dilution. So honestly, going forward, every time I say that dilution is occurring, every time it pumps, this is 1,000,000 trillion bazillion% accurate. So they have issued so many notes that have not even started paying out based on the conversions that it is going to be probably another 40x based on this level of dilution. So ultimately, you can kind of see as of December the 31st, they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 notes that we do know that were paying out, and roughly from my estimate only about 2 or 3 of them actually started. They did since then do a couple more, so they did one on February the 18th, January the 21st, and January the 6th. So like I said, this is definitely very scary, and this is why they did recently vote to raise the authorized share count. So in my opinion, today's pump, or on Friday's pump, was just extra dilution. And if you think about it, a lot of the individuals, the note holders, that's what their game plan is. They just want to get liquidity out. And as I've shared with you, the most that they can own is 9.99%. My mousemanship is horrible, but 9.99%. So if I'm one of those note holders, and I'm already at 9.9, what I do is I dump my shares, I sell it, and then I just go to one of my notes and I convert. I get the interest payment. So that means it tops me back up to 9%. This causes the big D word, dilution. And then what I do is then I just sell it on the open market, causes the stock price to go down, and then I dilute again. Rinse and repeat. Lower the stock price, the more shares are issued. So these toxic debt products are honestly the death of hologram. And for those of you that think that they're not going to be doing a reverse stock split, unfortunately, I think this is the nail on the coffin, and they are just acting a little bit too late to the game. So like I said, I think that the company really did have a lot of good hope. They just, for whatever reason, are focusing on the wrong things. And even though they do have a lot of cash on hand, based on all these notes, which are only good for 365 days, they're going to have to pay those out starting in the next couple months. So they're going to be paying 25 million. So even going back over here, they do have a lot of cash and cash equivalents. So I'll give you a quick an overview of that. So that's their operating expenses. So current cash and right here. So as of December 31st, 2024, they had 118.4 million in cash equivalents, 100 million in short term. So ultimately, they're going to be needing to pay the 25 million that was done. If we kind of scroll back into 2024, start looking at a lot of their prospectuses, March 14th. So that one just concluded. That one they would have had to have paid back 25 million. Next one, April 23rd, that is another 25 million. Right here, May the 9th, another 25 million. And then on May the 22nd, another 25 million. Just based on all of that, that's already eating up all of this. So you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out, but hey, they don't actually have all that much money. I know for face value, it does look like they have a lot, but they don't at all. So yeah, it's an unfortunate type of scenario based on a lot of the options that were floating around today. A lot of big money saw this pump and bet against it. So for those of you that were able to ride the wave going up, congratulations, you made some pretty good money, because 32% in one day is pretty good. But Don't anticipate that to continue because honestly, I think this right here was very damning. And there was this that did come out. So based on our evaluation, our management has concluded that due to the outstanding material weaknesses described below as of December 31st, our disclosure controls and procedures were not effective in ensuring that the information required, blah, 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 is up to date. So ultimately, for those of you that don't understand that, that ultimately means that their reporting, what they are putting out, might be very, very wrong. So the only time I've ever seen this type of scenario indicate or was kind of pointed out is on another stock I used to cover way back in the day that had these same type of toxic debt products, and that was Mullen. And in case you do not know, if we kind of pull up them, basically they have done so far for reverse stock splits, they just did their 5th, and I believe that they might be doing their 6th fairly soon. And over the last 1 year, I don't know if this is actually even possible or it was possible, but over the last 1 year it is down 100%, and over the last 5 years down 100%. So this is the same warning I have been signaling time and time again that is going to be coming for Hologram. I get it. Some people might think that I'm wrong, but honestly, Hologram, even if you get in right now, 6 months, 8 months down the line, you're going to be down 80 to 90% of your value. That's just my viewpoint, of course. So like I said, to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly, even though they are trying to pivot, make some good additional money, all of those notes are going to come due, and they're just going to rinse and repeat. They're going to issue more notes to pretty much keep their float at where it is, their cash float. So let me know your thoughts on Hologram. My apologies to be the bearer of bad news, but this earnings, don't listen to any pumpers out there. This isn't going to prompt a short squeeze. This is all just artificial pumping. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And then one final thing, if you're actually looking for some good buy signals, pop over to my Patreon. Many of them that I put out there are absolutely on point and bangers. Put out stocks, options, and crypto buy signals. So definitely pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.